Promotional consideration paid for by the following. Travelin' Tom's Coffee Truck, the delicious mobile coffee truck that brings you the caffeination inspiration you need. We deliver signature coffee products like our Nitro Cold Brew and Caramel Frappe to any occasion or festivity. And for those who don't like coffee, we offer a variety of delicious hot chocolates, energy drinks, lemonades, and teas. That's Travelin' Tom's Coffee Truck. All right, welcome back to another edition of the Goblay Show. I'm your host, Billy Goble, and today we have a special guest. She is the author of The Dismemberer's Handbook, The Blood Chronicles, Divine Vengeance, and You Taste Like Whiskey and Sunshine. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome Kimberly Love. Kimberly, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
How's it going?
Great.
It's good?
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a great year.
It's going to be a great year. 2026 is going to be a great year, I can tell.
I can feel it.
I can feel it too. How was everything? Good?
Great.
Did you have a good Christmas?
Yes, I did. Probably more quiet. Typically, I go to Canada, visit my family, but this year we just decided to keep it low-key just because it was quite a busy year, so we just wanted to relax with family, friends.
Gotcha. I was going to say, if you can't tell already, guys, she has a little bit of an accent. And I've already told her that I'm going to make a couple remarks about it. She's like, it's okay. I'm just kidding. I give her a hard time all the time. But
I hear about Lenny Kenny all the time, and I'm like, we are not like that. That show is not accurate.
Well, I was thinking Canadian people get a good rep because they're always nice,
Yes.
super nice.
Yes, that is our reputation. We do say sorry a lot.
And that's hard to find people to say sorry. I don't know why it is, but it's hard to find somebody to say you're sorry or they're sorry.
Right.
Why do you think that is? What do you, not the sorry part, but the being kind? Is it because it's so cold up there?
Yeah, we got to keep each other warm. I don't know. I don't know. Because when you live in Canada, you really don't think that you're doing anything necessarily outside the box. Yeah. But I've heard it lots of times when I visited the United States before I moved here that people are like, oh my God, you guys are so nice. And I'm just like, what does that say about you guys?
Well, that's the thing is people don't realize how nice people are until they go to different places. Yeah. Well, we just got back from, it's been a little bit, but we just got back from Mexico. And first thing we got back to Tampa on the way back when we got off the ship, somebody yelled at us, and I'm like, "We are welcome home, baby. We are in America."
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, we got off the ship. It was Margaritaville. Great cruise. If anybody's trying to get on a nice cheap cruise, no, I wasn't disappointed at all. That was my third cruise, but very, very, very inexpensive, and it was a great time. But when we got off at the port in Tampa, they have a drop-off zone. We did the valet parking.
Oh, okay.
Because all the regular parking was taken up at the time when we went to. So we're like, oh my gosh! I was like, I guess we gotta. But it was like $20 extra. So it was the valet. But we got off the boat, and we come through customs, and we did our thing there, and came around the corner, and there was it was really early, but there was a line to get their cars, and you had your claim ticket, and so we're just standing there waiting, and this lady goes, "You guys got to keep moving. There's 2,500 people here," and we're like, "It's 7:30 in the morning. You could be a little bit nicer."
Right.
Why are you yelling?
Like, I just got back from vacation. Chill.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was like, we are not in Mexico anymore.
No. It's like, oh my goodness.
So, and my poor wife, she's like, well, where do we go for the ticket? Like for our claim ticket? She's like, right there. And that's where we're standing. And she's like, well, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get our car so we can go home and get out of the way. Mm-hmm. But it was hilarious. I mean, it was like I said, welcome to America.
No, and it's funny. It's kind of been a culture shock just coming down here. Just because it's, you think, obviously, like when you live in Canada, you think Florida, oh, it's just vacation place, Disney, beaches. But you come down here and it is quite different the way you guys talk, what you eat. Like, I can't even get over grits.
Oh
that you're
man,
all over here eating that.
love
I know.
me some grits.
I know. I probably lost a bunch of fans just saying that right now.
No, because I mean, I look. You got to remember, people have different taste, and your taste buds change every 7 years.
Do they?
That's what
Oh,
I've
I
been
did
told.
not know
That's
that.
what my wife told me. I don't know if that's.
I know your handwriting changes every 7 years. That's what I heard.
Oh,
I did not realize.
really?
That.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's what.
That's
I heard.
even more bizarre.
Yeah.
So I got to go back and see Well, you're
Yeah.
right, but I mean, like, I could see okay, I could see when you were a kid and you it's like chicken scratch.
Yeah.
And then versus you're in your 40s, you're like, you still write like that. God bless you. 'Cause that bank's having a hard time figuring out who
Right.
signed that check.
Exactly.
But the taste buds change, and a lot of people I don't care for oatmeal,
Yeah.
and a lot of people like oatmeal, and I'm like, nah. I'll just leave some cereal in a bowl and let it sit for about 4 hours, and that's about it. That's
Ew.
about the consistency.
And then
of
you
it.
still eat it?
No, I'm just
Oh,
saying
okay,
if I
I'm like,
was,
yeah.
I would rather do
No,
that.
like let's be honest, it's like puke. Like it's just like every time I see cream of wheat, I'm like, what is happening? Cream of wheat looks like puke, but people are,
Chowing down.
yeah,
on
they
it.
add like a little cinnamon to it, and
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
whatever. But
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, we're gonna get into that later about the differences and stuff like that, and you can give me a little bit of taste. But I just have a couple questions for you. We'll start there and then kind of meander our way through the conversation.
Sure.
I'd say. But let's go back. Like the reason why you're here, let's promote your books, and
Absolutely.
that's really cool. That first of all, that you wrote a book, just a book. Okay, there are people that never write like a pamphlet in their life or a diary, and that's I'm one of those people. I don't. Like I'll write down some stuff. I take that back. I used to write stuff in high school and stuff like that. Like these stories, kind of like on that movie, Stand By Me.
Oh,
remember,
yes.
Remember, what was his name? Gordy.
Gordy, yes.
Gordy was the writer,
Your own story.
and he was making up all these stories and stuff. And that was like me, but they were like funny, whatever. And so, but I never pursued anything like that. But I thought that would be something cool to do later on. And so I kind of kind of still interested in it. But I mean, to write a book, just one book, but you've written 5 or 6?
5.
Five books. Yeah. So what pulled you, like what made you want to write?
I don't think it was ever what made me want to write. I just always did. I was definitely that girl that had the journals. So I've probably been writing since I was a kid. It just happens. And it was more like journaling, not necessarily writing stories. I have I kind of stopped journaling. I have 20 years of journals.
Oh, wow.
Packed away in suitcases and stuff. There's some dirt back there for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, and so, I mean, it's just something I did. I had a very troubled childhood, traumatizing. And it was kind of my escape from all that. And I
Right.
just kind of put my all into these books. And then from there, it just kind of turned into stories. And it actually never occurred to me to publish anything or to have that as a career. I kind of always thought I was going to go and be an actress in Hollywood. That was kind of my original dream. So it never actually occurred to me to ever publish. But then some family and friends started reading my stuff, and they were like, "What are you doing? Why don't you try to publish this?" And I was like, "I don't know." And I literally sat on it for years and years. And it wasn't until literally 2018 when I first published my You Taste Like Whiskey and Sunshine. And that was a memoir, so it was based off of life experience. So that was kind of, and then it blew up into something, and people were asking me to be on radio shows and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh, you know what I mean? It was really that easy.
Yeah.
And it just was I guess I just always had a natural talent for it. And I guess I just never realized that I could make a life out of it. And the one thing I can credit to my mother is she always told me that I could do anything. Mm-hmm. She pumped me up my whole life, and she's the reason why, I've always had the confidence to jump out and try new things, is because she was always like, You can do anything. And it didn't matter what crazy idea I came to her with. She was like, yeah, you do it. And I think that's what made me think that I can do anything that I want.
Yeah, that's cool. I like the confidence level. And that takes a lot of confidence to write a full novel about something that, especially about something that, may or may not have happened to you or in your life or whatever, that took place in there. And I used to keep not a journal, but it was I still have it somewhere. It's probably at my mom and dad's house. And it's I did it so when you get older, everybody's talking about Alzheimer's and like memory loss and stuff like that. And I did it. I didn't know much about that then, but I had this idea like, what if like later on in my life I can't remember things that I should remember or things I shouldn't remember.
Right.
And I started writing stuff down, like experiences that me and my friends went through. And some of them are just sentences, but it keys in memory just like that. Like I can read it and I can tell you exactly where we were. I don't know if that's just my brain, how it works. I have a little bit of, I think we all have a little touch of the tism.
Right.
Seriously, I mean, I think everybody has that on the spectrum. And I think that I'm able to remember stuff that people are like, how do you remember that? And sometimes it's good and sometimes they're embarrassed. Like, oh my God, why did you tell them that? Or especially about myself, I always tell on myself about things I've done. And that's how I met my wife. But anyways, there's stories that I want to remember when I get older. And it brings back, everybody talks about the good old days. Yes. And I want to do that. Mm-hmm. So I have this notebook, this binder, and it's labeled the things we did or did not do, but they sure made us laugh. That's how
awesome, though.
That's what I titled it. And my friends hate it when I pull that book out.
They're like, we're trying to forget those times. Well, I love the fact that like I grew up in a generation where there was no social media and no phones because I mean Absolutely. We got up to all the things and there was like no video evidence. But it's interesting you say that because I think it's really important what you're doing because just your children, my daughter's 19 now, but they have an incredible way of mortifying you by remembering things you did as a young parent. And my daughter will come up with stuff, and I mean, it's just like you said. All she has to do is say a certain sentence or a word, and I'm like, oh my God, I have never thought about that, in years, or I never thought, and it's interesting. It's a really good idea, actually, what you're saying is to keep your memories in place like that, because it does. Certain words do trigger me, and I'm like, oh my God, I haven't thought about that in literally 20 years.
It's just like and I'm sure there's a name for it, but I'm not doing it service. About like when you hear a song and it instantly transforms you back to another time. Like you can remember the first time you heard that song, where you were, how old you were. Yeah. And it's not, I mean, that happens to everybody. Like, oh my gosh, I remember this song and I was out here and these people were with me. And it's crazy how your brain can remember all that stuff. But I can't remember my password for Netflix.
I know, the passwords are terrible.
Yeah, but I can tell you what I did, where I was for years in 1999, and like stuff like that. Like what? Like that's not important anymore. But you can't remember the simple stuff. But all the nostalgic stuff that's still on the plate.
I
know. Let's see. Do you when your books, are they all like things that you've been through, or just like do you just get this idea in your head and you go, I have a basis, like a premise, and I just build off that, kind of like the Star Wars trilogy, like I have one character, but there's a side guy that just so happens to walk by the episode, and we're gonna do an 8-part series on this guy.
When I was I've always, like I said, I always wrote. But there's also learning to write as well. And I took a couple of courses throughout my writing career, I guess. And they always said you write what you know. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you could be writing something entirely fiction, but you're in there somewhere.
True.
So you'll find, as an author, you'll find yourself in characters, you'll find yourselves in locations and stuff like that. But my characters, they do just come to me. Now, the stories behind them, for example, the Dismember's Handbook and the Blood Chronicles, they're based off of a detective who finds herself in scenarios where she's looking for serial killers. So for her, she's in all the books, but the atmosphere changes in each book. So she carries on throughout the series, and there'll be like 8 books to this series. So
I got you.
She's always going to be in the books. The other characters will change. The serial killer's always different. They're always based off of real serial killers. And so that's kind of what I base them around is, because I'm a true crime fanatic. So, I mean, I've probably watched everything you could possibly know. So I have quite a bit of knowledge about serial killers. So that's kind of where that sort of thing comes from. But these stories just kind of come to me on long drives, if that makes any sense. That's kind of, I've never heard of writer's block. You know what I mean? I have all kinds of mess in my head, and it's just comes out on paper.
Well, I think a long drive helps, clear the mind.
Yeah.
And then you're able to think almost like an out of body experience. Not really, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how they say people think out of the box?
Yeah.
Well, the box is your life.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You got to look and see what, you want to know. That's another perspective.
Yeah.
What is, when you were growing up, did you watch, was there like a show that you used to watch, like about crime that made you kind of get interested in that? Or just one day you're like, you know what? I really like crime stuff.
No, you know what? Like we came from the generation where, you'd go out until dark and your parents never knew where you were. And as long as the lights come on, you come home, that sort of thing. My mom, like I was watching horror movies when I was like 7 years old. Like there was just no, and like back when there was like Blockbuster and stuff like that. Like my mom, every Friday night, movies were a big thing in our household. And my mom was a single mom. And every Friday night, me and my brother would go to the movie store with her. And that was our thing. We were allowed to pick anything we wanted. And she literally, I don't know if just that generation, it didn't occur to them that maybe young children shouldn't watch like blood-curdling movies, but that's it. Me and my brother are huge horror fans.
Yeah.
My brother's probably worse than me. He's got like, horror movies in his closet from the 50s and stuff like that, but that's probably where it all comes from. And it's like I said before, I had a traumatizing childhood. No fault of my mother, of course. And it's just, I think that, we all have a dark side, and this is where my dark side comes out.
I didn't know if you had watched a lot of Matlock.
Yeah, I am aware of Matlock, but no. I am aware of him, but no, I can't say that. Oh my goodness!
I love me some Matlock, but my
That's so random of you.
I know, but mystery.
Yes.
Mysterious.
No, it's probably like what's a Murder, She Wrote. My mother made me watch all those shows growing up.
God.
Like they were always on. That's probably would be more of a connection.
I didn't know a lot about that show because, I don't know. I'm not. It's not like I'm not a fan of Angela Lansbury, but I don't know. I just didn't get into the show.
She was ancient forever. Did you ever notice that?
Hey, she
was
looked great too, like Betty White.
Yeah, but she that show was on forever, and she always looked the same.
Let me ask you this: since you knew more about the show, in the end wasn't that all about she was the person doing all that?
Oh yeah, she was solving all the crimes.
Yeah, but she made it sound like, wasn't it like somebody like she was like it was mysterious, like nobody knew, but it was like what was the whole premise of the show? I really didn't get into it.
Well, I mean, she was kind of random, like in the sense that, like, so obviously it was a mystery, and you're kind of putting the pieces together throughout the show.
Right.
But yeah, she was always the one that broke the case. It was always like she was always in the right place at the right time, and I can't remember if she actually even had any type of a background whatsoever in like solving crimes, or if she was just, that's one part I can't remember, is like I don't know if she was part of it, or if she was just that little old lady that just got it right every time. I don't know, but
she was just like in the right place.
yeah, like she just knew stuff. All the time, she just knew stuff.
She just walks by, you're like, oh, look, there's some blood on the
Yeah,
ground.
she's like, oh, you didn't find this clue, losers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't remember if she even had any skills. But yeah, she was good at it for sure.
there's that'd be like, you know, there's the forensics teams in there, you know, crime scene unit. They're like wiping everything down.
Yeah.
And then she walked by and she's like, you forgot this.
Yeah, exactly. I really think that was the premise of the show. Like, she just knew stuff and everybody else looked like an idiot, you know? And they're just like, oh, you know, I'm just going to resign today because she got the,
that old bag got me.
Yeah, it's like, because I feel like that was the whole premise, that it was just like, she didn't really have a clue.
They're like, sir, after 27 years of service,
yeah,
I'm putting in my notice.
You know,
because Grandma found this lock of hair.
Yeah, the last season they hire her for the FBI. It's just like, like, we can't do it without you.
Did they really?
No, I'm just.
I'm like, I don't know anything about this show.
No,
that's so cool though. That'd be like, you know, after 14 seasons,
yeah,
we're gonna ask you to join for the
yeah,
15.
please, we can't do this without you.
Like, just give her an FBI jacket. Though. She'll look very sweet in it.
Yeah.
No, when I was growing up, I used to watch a lot of shows with my grandmother. So she would always she would crochet, you know. So I never, you know, I was just like, oh, what are you gonna make? You know, she used to make blankets and stuff, and she loved like Hunter. Did you ever watch that show, Hunter?
I don't think I've ever heard of
It's
it.
with the guy was a professional football player. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but Fred something. He played for the L.A. Rams. Like, he was a real football player, but he was a cop. And it was all like, it was kind of like a Miami Vice, but on the West Coast side. Used to watch that, Matlock. What's the other one she used to watch? I really didn't get into Columbo and all them, but like Kojak, all those those old shows. Mm-hmm. But they were entertaining.
Yeah.
But what's like? I mean, in Canada, are they like? Because you know how like in some places like, I don't know, over in Europe, they're still watching like stuff from the 80s. Like,
yeah.
Like, they're like, man, I love that episode of the A-Team. You're like, what? That was 40 years ago. What are you talking
Right?
about? Do they have anything like that in Canada?
Oh my goodness, I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like, we watched a lot of American shows.
What was your favorite growing up?
Probably the A-Team.
Oh, you did like the A-Team? Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Heck
The A-Team was pretty popular.
Did you know like
Columbo?
Nobody died in that show? Like they could shoot up a helicopter. Well, actually, somebody did die. I think at the end.
Did you guys get MASH?
Oh yeah, we had MASH.
Oh, okay, MASH.
MASH was over my head. Like, it was very.
That was more Army.
Yeah, it was more Army, but it was very adult. Not like
Yeah.
the A-Team wasn't.
Yeah.
But the A-Team had like they fought. You know, like.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually never realized nobody died.
It was like pretty much, I would say like 99.5% that nobody
They couldn't
died.
show that stuff back then.
No, but like, like they'd have a car and it would like go off the side of a cliff, and it would like explode, and the guy gets out the door. He's
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah,
wow,
it's like, that hurt.
I'm gonna have to buff that out.
Yeah. That was the whole cliffhanger when it went off the cliff, and you had to wait the whole other week to find
Yeah.
out if anybody died.
Yeah, it's like it'd be like, and it's like, join in next week when you'll find out if this guy makes it or not. And
Right.
back then, you didn't have the seasons to go. Okay, well, obviously there's more seasons, so the guy did survive. But you're like, does he make it or not?
We had this crazy show. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It was called The Littlest Hobo.
No,
And it was about this German shepherd. And this
okay.
German shepherd, and it was like, on the road again. And it's like, that was like the theme song. And this
Willie Nelson?
literal, I don't know, was it Willie Nelson?
Willie Nelson sings On the Road Again. He's the one who, I guess he wrote it and sang it. I don't know.
And this dog would, and the whole show was this dog. And it was like a homeless dog, so it would travel from place to place. But it was like Angela Lansbury. Like, it was helping people. It was like solving the crime. Like, and it wasn't like one of those talking dog weird situations, but
Yeah.
this dog was out doing stuff. And that was like one of my favorite shows growing up. And it was just every episode, this dog was just out doing things all the time. And it was probably one of the most popular shows. And it was like, it went on for like probably 15 years. Like, it was crazy. But
Are
this
you
dog
kidding
was
me?
doing stuff. Like, it was making it happen.
What was he like?
It was like, you know how Lassie would be like go find people in the well?
Yes.
This dog, Lassie had nothing on this dog.
Wow.
Like, this dog could solve
Like-
crimes. This dog was like out helping people. You know, if someone was going to get murdered, this dog was stopping the murders. Like, it was like, look it up. It's probably on YouTube somewhere.
Listen,
Like,
okay, first of all,
you'll get addicted.
first of all, horrible name for a show. The Littlest Hobo.
Well, he was homeless. Like, he had to go from place to place. And everybody, at the end of the show, everybody was like, please stay. Like, be my dog forever. And he was like, on the road. And that was like, so the end of the show would peter out to like, on the road again. And you would see him going down a train tracks.
Wow.
Like, he's on his next adventure. He can't stay. Sorry. I
So-
got to help somebody else.
So he's like Rambo. Like,
Yeah, oh, no.
Like Rambo, but as a dog.
Yeah.
And then like, he didn't have a voice or anything? Like Michael
No.
J. Fox wasn't the voice. Like,
No,
oh
and
hey,
there
I should
wasn't
stop in
even
here.
any inner monologue.
Oh.
You just had to figure it out.
Oh,
What
my
is he gonna
gosh.
do next? And I'm telling
Wow.
you, this show was top tiered. I'm thinking it must have been it wouldn't have been the 70s, 80s. Yeah, 80s. It might
80s
have
had
been. 70s,
cocaine,
80s,
so-
somewhere in there. But I'm
Yeah.
telling you, like, someone got on cocaine
Cocaine
and then
was-
wrote this.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, it was a hit. Look it up. You'll get so addicted, you'll be into like season 7. You'll be calling me and being like, "Dude, did you see what he did this time?" I'm telling you.
There's a video on YouTube I saw. It's been a little while since I've got on it, but it was an old show, and someone has taken the clips and made like a video, and they've done a voiceover, and it's a guy riding a buffalo, and he fights people, and like he's like a frontier guy, like kind of like Grizzly Adams. It may be Grizzly Adams. I don't know if that's, but it's not the original. Like the guy's like, and the guy's singing the song. He's like, I'm riding on a buffalo, and he's like coming in here and gonna shoot these guys and they'll fight them, and then there's a bear, and I kick the bear's butt, and it's like. What, like you gotta have a pad and paper to figure out what's going on because he's saying so many things, but it's hilarious. And the guy's riding a buffalo like a horse.
Oh my
He's just riding through the woods.
Somebody's gonna like find the Littlest Hobo now and like AI it to the point where now he is gonna have inner monologue. It's gonna
Yeah.
be like the new rendition of.
Yeah, that's like a Homeward Bound.
That's exactly what it was. Like, this guy's just traveling, except there was no inner monologue. This dog was just out living life. I guess they didn't have the tech for it back then. They just had to-
Wow, they could have done some post production where they're like,
know.
they like had somebody a Canadian actor like Alan Thicke or something like.
Justin Bieber.
They weren't even alive then.
Yeah, that's true.
Bieber wasn't even a sparkle in his dad's eye. No,
Oh, man.
yeah. Talking about, I've talked about old TV shows like that before, but like like I said, like the A-Team, and like when you're a kid, you're like this is the best thing ever, and then you get older and you're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like it's so, but it's still good, but it's cheesy, but it's good. Like it reminds you, it takes you back to a like Bluebell ice cream. It takes you back to a simple time where people were people, and
Well, we had the Sunday morning cartoons, right? And I feel like that's something that should have went into our children's generation. But like, you literally woke up and the TV went on at a certain time. Those cartoons came on, and those cartoons, like, they can't make cartoons like that anymore. Like the Scooby-Doos and the everything from back then, where it was just so wholesome.
yeah.
Well,
a lot of people don't realize that Saturday morning cartoons raised a lot of kids. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? Like not only did they just like air and whatever, but they raised kids because that's who babysat kids for a couple hours while their parents were not home yet from the third shift.
Yep.
Or the mom has got a newborn and can't get the 5-year-old to leave her alone, and it's like, go in there and watch cartoons for God's sake. Yeah, it was a different time. My childhood was great. Mm-hmm. And I say that because I didn't know any better. Not that it wasn't great. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't have known if it was bad. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know as a kid.
Yeah.
You think, even when you don't have a lot of money, you don't know that. You don't know your financial status of your family. Like, Mom, are we upper class?
Yep.
Are we mid class? Or are we lower class? What's going on? like, talk to me. And they're like, look at your clothes.
Yeah, exactly. That was a surefire way.
You see the silk?
Yeah.
Nothing
you see
touches
the
his
holes
body
in your shoes?
but silk.
Like
Pat's Taps at Catfish Johnny's. Pat's Taps is Lake Panasoffke's only craft beer tap room, offering 12 rotating craft beers on tap. We also offer bottled domestic beer, seltzers, ciders, and wine, as well as a variety of appetizers and pub food. Our family-friendly tap room is a great place to hang out and enjoy some one-of-a-kind craft beer. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, or the Untapped app.
Whether your water is supplied by a public municipality or a private well, for residential or commercial use, Purified Water Services LLC has the solutions to provide you with simply clean water. We offer a complete line of professional water filtration equipment and accessories. Soft water makes a difference you can see and feel. Water heater and appliances last longer with less maintenance. Iron and H2S filters eliminate iron stains and offensive rotten egg odors and protects your water softener equipment from iron fouling. No matter what your problem is, Purified Water Services LLC has a solution. Contact Kenny Williams at 352-446-2709. CY Western Company is located in Bushnell, Florida. It's a great place for boots, clothing, gifts, and accessories for the whole family. They are a family-owned and operated business that opened in 2008. They offer free gift bagging and layaway services, and also a 10% discount for 4-H and FFA members with proof of membership. Be sure to like them on Facebook, where customers can stay updated on sales and giveaways. You can find them next to Lowry's True Value Hardware in Bushnell, open Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, and Saturdays, 9 to 5. Be sure to check out CY Western Company.
Catfish Johnny's Restaurant, served at Lake Panasoffke and surrounding areas since 1990. For the last 34 years, we have strived to serve great food at good prices and a friendly, casual atmosphere. If seafood isn't your thing, our wings and burgers are the best around. We have our daily specials too. We are open Wednesday through Saturday. Check us out on Facebook or Instagram for more information.
Webster Ace Hardware and Farm Supply are generous sponsors for today's podcast. They have been a family-owned business for 27 years. This helpful hardware store sells items such as archery, Ariat clothing and boots, Wrangler jeans, case knives, Hammond's candies, and live fishing gear. They also have a full selection of hardware, RV supply, propane, Ben Moore, Royal & Clark, and Kenningston paints. You need a barn or fencing job done? Custom barn kits and roofing metal are provided at your local Ace Hardware store. What about a new grill for the yard? Traeger, Big Green Egg, Weber, and Blackstone are found here, along with all the accessories to go with them. Stock up your workshop with DeWalt, Milwaukee, or Craftsman tools. They got you covered. Remember to go to ace.com to shop their entire line to have items shipped directly to the store.
Why make two stops when you could shop at two amazing stores under one roof? Visit Lollipops on Main Boutique and the Stitching Heifers in the heart of downtown Bushnell for all your clothing, accessories, and custom gear. At Lollipops on Main Boutique, you can find stylish women's and men's apparel, novelty items, and the perfect gift ideas.
The Stitching Heifers is your one-stop shop for embroidered and printed hats, custom patch hats, and trending graphic tees that can be fully customized for you, your company, or your next big event. Whether you need a single design or a whole company's worth of branded gear, they've got you covered. Come see us at 110 Bushnell Plaza in Bushnell. Shop in-store or browse online anytime at mponmaine.com and thestitchingheifers.com. We're going to go back to your books because I want to promote these really, really bad. So besides the TV show growing up and The Littlest Hobo, was there anything else that inspired you to write about crime or mystery?
Well, like I said,
besides your, did you have any influences like with anybody else? Mom, anybody else?
it was pretty much like, I guess my influences were more the things that I watched and the things that I read. Like, I'm a huge fan of Dean Koontz and Stephen King. Mm-hmm. And Dean Koontz is probably more along the lines of a paranormal Stephen King. Like, he's got some weird things out there. So I read a lot, which was kind of my own escape as far as in the same way that I wrote a lot. It's just, I escaped from my life into these books, and these characters became real to me. And I think that's the same when you're writing them, is that they become real to you. And I moved away from home after university, just because I'm originally from Sault Ste. Marie, which is super northern Ontario, but it's a steel mill town. So if you're educated, you typically tend to leave just because there's no jobs.
It's like Pittsburgh.
Yeah, yeah. So I moved to Windsor, Ontario, which borders Detroit, and that was kind of like a much bigger area. And I used to like drive home, and it was 12 hours the Canadian way, only 4 hours the American way. So I would literally hop over one border, drive down I-75 through Michigan, and hop over the other border to where my hometown is. So that 4.5 hour drive was where I got all my book ideas. Okay. And I used to travel back home quite a bit, at least like probably easily 10 to 20 times a year, especially once I had my daughter, because those were her grandparents. So just traveling back and forth, and that's kind of like building characters, building plots, and that sort of thing. But like as far as like what inspires me, it's really just the authors that I read growing up, and the movies that I saw, and that sort of thing.
You mentioned Detroit earlier. Did you? I mean, now Detroit gets a bad rap. Detroit's gotten a bad rap since the late '60s, when everybody left the motor city, and a lot of buildings and stuff were abandoned, and there was a lot of crime. And what was it like in Detroit? I mean, I've never been there, so that's why I'm asking. I'm asking for a friend.
I mean, I loved it because it was, we had a border, so right there in Windsor. So I used to hop over and go to the Tigers games all the time.
Okay.
So it's an open stadium, and it's just like, you go there, have some beers, and it's just, that was my experience with, like, I'm not a big sports person, but if it's live sports, I'll go to any game.
Gotcha.
We also had Mexican Town, which is basically like, it's around the stadium, and it's basically like all these areas within it. There's Mexican Town, there's Italian, and all this stuff, and it had like cash on par, which means that you could literally bring your Canadian money over there, and they would accept it at the same price as American. And so that was really fun. And you go have a couple of drinks, you go watch a ball game, and it was just, we all did our shopping over there. It was just, I love Detroit, but I totally understand what you mean about it, because I remember one time when I first moved down there, like, you do 100%, and I don't want to knock it or anything, but you do 100% drive through it if you're traveling, because when I first moved to Windsor, like, we used to have friends that were like, hey, if you go into Detroit, just don't like stop at stop signs. Like, you just roll on through, because one guy told us that like he stopped at a stop sign, and just that moment of stopping at a stop sign, a bunch of people like surrounded him, took his hubcaps, like he had to keep his money in his sock and stuff like that. So as a single woman, or as a woman traveling with kids, you don't stop. Like, it's all bulletproof glass in all the gas stations and stuff like that. So there is certainly that side to it, but they have like a booming entertainment area. That's a lot of fun, especially like, for Canadians wanting something different to do. And we also had the other side of it, like our legal age to drink is 19. So the Americans were always popping over there when they turned 19 to get their first drink on, or their legal drink on.
Probably not their first drink.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah.
Well, that's cool. Detroit, I want to go everywhere once.
Yeah.
And then that way I can make an assessment for myself.
Yeah.
And not listen to what people have told me. But I do heed caution. Like, I do, like, I want to make sure that I'm going to the right places.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to walk through Central Park at night or early in the morning, or, put myself in a bad situation. And it may or may not happen, but why risk it?
Yeah.
Why would you even, like, play with that the whole thought of that?
Well, it's even just a weird setup in Detroit, because you could be driving down through a wealthy area, and then just one block over It's like boarded up houses.
Wow.
Like, it's just, you really don't know where you're going to end up, like, especially if you get lost. I've been lost in Detroit multiple times. And, like, you just don't stop and ask for directions. So you just figure it out.
Does GPS just go, good luck?
Yeah, sometimes, like, GPS will screw you to the point where you're just, like, in some neighborhoods you wish you weren't in, and you're just, like, you always look for the bridge. You can see the bridge from most anywhere in Detroit, and you just, like, try to follow it to get back home.
Did you ever see the show Good Girls?
Good Girls?
Good Girls. It's
No.
on Netflix.
No.
It's based in Detroit, and
Really?
they live near. I think it's near Detroit or in that area, because they. It's a good crime series. You'd like it, but it's these three girls. I think it's three girls. Yeah, three girls, and they're like hard for money. They they have families, and they have like dead end jobs and stuff like that, and they decide to rob a supermarket, which one of the girls works at, and it just goes from there, and that's the very first episode. They rob the supermarket, and it's just a bunch of craziness, but they have to go to Canada and launder money.
Oh, really?
So they go right across the border. That's all.
Weird, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. It's called Good Girls. And I can't think of the girls. If you saw the people that are in there, you're like, oh, I know her. Like the one girl's from, she's from I think it's from The Office.
Oh, really?
And or Parks and Rec, one of those. Remember? Do you watch a lot of TV shows? Mm-hmm. So Treat Yourself. The black woman, what's her name? With the guy from. Man, I have to show you the picture of it. But they go, treat yourself, and that's like it's treat yourself days. Treat yourself.
You're like drowning.
I know. I can't. No, seriously. I can't think of her name, and that's really bad because I'm really pretty good with names, but I can't think of any of their names right now. But they all have their own separate story. Okay. And it's cool how they kind of come together, and they all have one goal, and that's to take care of their family.
Oh, cool.
So it's cool. You have to check that out.
Yeah, we'll definitely check it out.
Let's go back to your book, or about your books. Now, when you come up with a story, do you have an outline, or do you just let like your story unfold, or do you like have a guideline? Do you base it on one type of way, or do you have other ways of writing?
No, it's random. Like I know a lot of authors that literally plan their book out from one chapter to the end, and I can't do it. I get lost. I literally get overwhelmed if I try to pre-plan it. I come up with an idea. Like, for example, the Dismemberer's Handbook is based off of the real serial killer Martin Scripps. Mm-hmm. Now, he was from Thailand.
Okay.
He's not from Thailand. He's American, but he spent a lot of time. He was actually in a Thailand jail, and he escaped. He was originally in there for, like, drug trafficking and stuff like that. But he escaped and was in Thailand for a while. And a friend of mine from Canada used to be a backpacker, and he traveled a lot. Him and his friends would literally, like, take 4 months, 5 months out of the year and just backpack all over Europe. So they found themselves in Thailand, and one of his friends' mother messaged them and was like, hey, I'm going to come and visit you guys. You've been gone for a couple of months. I want to see my son. And they're like, yeah, sure, come. So she shows up, and this one friend left the group, and he was like, I'm going to go meet my mom at the airport. We're going to hang out for a bit, and then I'll come back and meet you guys again. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, cool, all right, no problem. So he left, and the two of them were never seen again.
Oh, my gosh.
And it turned into this, like, media frenzy of where did these people go. And what actually happened is that they ran into this guy at the airport, shared a taxi with him. He murdered them, dismembered them, and they were originally found in, like, a tin mine. Their bodies were found in tins in a tin mine. And that was just so this is this guy's real life story, and he had, like, massive survivor guilt. Mm-hmm. You know, because they always believed maybe if we would all went and met her at the airport, everything would have been okay.
Yeah.
So my book is based off of the serial killer alone, and that's the thing. They discovered that like these weren't even his first victims. He had bodies all over Thailand and other areas and that sort of thing. So that's kind of where I take a serial killer, and then I use, you know, his background and build a story around it. But no, I absolutely do not use outlines. I literally go chapter by chapter and see kind of where the character walks. So that's how it kind of works out for me.
So when you do it chapter by chapter, how do you balance that, like dropping little clues here and there, without giving it away? How do you? Is that hard to do?
Yeah, you kind of have to know the mystery part. The mystery part of it for sure. You have to know from beginning to end, because I always kind of use it as a game in my advertising for the Dismemberers Handbook, because nobody has been able to guess who the killer is yet.
Okay.
So it's basically like from beginning to end, you're trying to figure out, and lots of people always message me, and that's a fun part about being an author is I get random people emailing me all the time, and they're like, it's so-and-so, isn't it? And like, they haven't even finished the book, and they're like, I know it's so-and-so, and nobody's gotten it right. It's just like, so everybody's like, challenge accepted, nobody's gotten it right. So it's like, you do have to figure out how to put this person into the story, and then make sure that people can't figure it out, even though they're immersed in the story the entire time. It could be like the best friend of the story, and you still have to. That's why the Scream movies are so popular, right?
Yeah.
It's always somebody they know, but you still can't figure it out till the end, right?
Yeah.
And so
it's an inside job.
Yeah. So you literally got to make sure that and it's just putting puzzle pieces together. So obviously I know how the book is going to end, and I know who the killer is, and it's just putting a mask on that character and letting them run with it throughout the entire book, and then hoping you get it right to the point, because obviously I don't know if people are going to figure it out or not. I think I do a pretty good job. My first book is epic. So far nobody's been able to figure it out until the end, so yeah.
That's cool. They can't read the cover like I used to in the reading class and just do a summary. like on the back of the book, it's like, I just copied that word for word.
Right.
Complete plagiarism, but I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
my teacher's like, what are you even trying to do?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, what? I thought I was pretty smooth. I thought I was doing a good job. So as far as the main character goes, like, what makes a great main character or a detective? Like, if you're doing like a mystery, like a detective or something.
A great main character that I've found is someone that people can relate to.
Gotcha.
No, people hate the perfect life. I'm telling you, people hate the perfect life, because people, as much as people want to cheer another person on and love success of another person, they also want to be able to see themselves in that person. And my main character is a severely broken individual. Like, she's been through stuff, and there are parts of me in there that are basically the soul of that character. So I find that the flawed character is one of the most popular characters you can ever have, because people see themselves in those characters, because obviously nobody's perfect and we've all been through stuff.
True.
And I think that that's the most interesting character you can find, because there's a reason why these people are the way that they are, right? So you always, throughout a story, you always discover, like, it's the same in movies. Like, you're like, oh my God, like, why is this guy doing what he's doing? But there's always that backstory, right? There's a reason why these people are damaged. There's a reason why these people are successful. There's a reason why these people, you know, decide to be criminals. There's always that backstory. So I think when you have a character that's interesting and has some things that they've been through, then you end up making a character that people grow to. Now, I tried to... Like, I have like 5 books out, but these are my most popular books, and it's because people have attached themselves to the main character. Her name's Harley, and they were like, we need the next book. Like, stop writing other stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I have like 3 books coming out next year, and they are still not the 3rd book. And people are like, I don't want to call them stalkers, but you guys have become stalkers at this point. Like, they are like, they will be on TikTok and they'll be like, when is the 3rd book coming out? Like, what are you doing? And so now I have to devote time to getting the rest of the series out. But it's like, I have so many ideas in my brain that I'm trying to voice all of them at this point. But that's the thing. People, if you write a good character, people will attach themselves to that character, and they just want you to write 20 more books of that same character.
Yeah, going back to what you said about being relatable with the characters, when I watch a movie, I always like the guy that's the comic. Like if there's a group of guys, like, have you ever seen The Sandlot?
Yes.
Okay, so I had Marty York on that played Yeah, and really cool guy. Came on the show, and I told him, I said, you are my favorite character out of all the guys. And a lot of people like Benny, they like Smalls, they had Ham, and those guys were great, and there's nothing wrong with those guys. But I related more to Yeah. I don't know why, but he was my favorite. And that's the thing, is you like who you it's like relatable.
Yeah, it mirrors you. Almost.
Exactly. Well, in that instance, it wasn't even me. It just reminded me of someone I grew up with.
Sure.
So you had this like you said, like a closeness, like you kind of, it brought back such a great memory that that it was totally relatable. But when you do your characters and stuff, has there ever been a character like good or bad that you're like, man, I really like this character?
Yeah, I tend to relate more to the villains of the story.
Yeah.
Like, I am absolutely obsessed with the serial killer have you ever seen the TV series You?
No.
Like, women are dropping themselves over this. Like, he's a serial killer. There's no doubt about it. But the main character is a guy. He's just a regular guy, Joe Goldberg. And he is, like, he kills for, like, his basis for killing is, I'm protecting my family. But he's definitely a psychopath.
Yeah.
And so he gets obsessed with a girl. He starts stalking her until they start dating. Of course, she doesn't realize she's been stalked the entire time during the dating process, but he knows everything about her before they even meet. So when he falls in love and they start dating, now anybody that enters her life that is either a threat or like an ex-boyfriend, like, everybody's getting murdered.
Wow.
And women have attached themselves to this character so much that it doesn't matter what this guy does. They're
Right.
like, look at Joe's texting girls back, even though he's murdering people, but he still can text you back. Like, people are obsessed with this character, and I feel like I relate to him in the sense of, like, and once again, it's the backstory. There's a reason this guy is the way he is. He's a broken individual, and he's out doing these things. But I find, like, and it's like the same why people are obsessed with Joker. He's the bad guy, but there is a whole fan base around Joker because people can relate to that bad side of the Joker.
Yeah.
So that's what I always get attached to, those type of characters, I think, because it's always, I love, and I think that's why I like serial killers so much, is because, like, it's interesting getting in the mind of a serial killer because there's always a reason why they decided to go down this road, and I want to find out what that reason is.
That it's funny how you mentioned the whole, wanting to know about them and whatever, but it's like there's or taking up for them. There's people that were like, oh, he probably didn't mean it.
Yeah.
So there's a movie called Burning. Have you seen that movie?
No,
Burning. Burning. And I know it sounds like an old lawyer from Connecticut, like Barney. But no, it's Jack Black's in it and Matthew McConaughey. So they got some star power.
Yeah.
So anyways, it's to set the picture. It's this lady. They're in a small town, and they're in Texas. This is a true story. And there's this lady. She's pretty much the missus of the town. Like, she's the wealthiest woman in the town. Okay. And so her husband passes away. Well, the guy, Bernie, who's Jack Black, is a funeral director. And so he comforts her during her loss, and he did this with everybody in the county or in the town that lost a loved one. And it's kind of like it's shot kind of like a documentary, but it's a movie. So he goes and he becomes this lady's, like, I guess, friend with, not, I don't want to say benefits, but like they go everywhere. It wasn't like intimate at first. They would go off. She would spend all this money. They would go on trips and blah, blah, blah. And anyways, she got to where he like tried to leave one day. I don't know where he was going, but he tried to leave and she like closed the gates at the front. And like he pulls up, he's like, oh, like he feels trapped. He feels like he can't get out. So anyways, he ends up shooting her in the back with a rifle, like a 22 or whatever, like a rifle. And he's like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that, blah, blah, blah. And he realizes she's not moving. She's dead. And so he puts her in the freezer, like the chest freezer, like in the garage, you know. But this lady was so mean to the townspeople that nobody asked about her. And then finally her accountant was like, hey, look, it's getting to the end of the year. You know, you got to go over some finance stuff. We got to get your taxes ready. Well, she's just a little under the weather. Bernie, where's she at? Oh, she's not feeling good. This is months and months go by. Finally, he's like, you know what? I'm going to go over there myself. And they end up finding the body. And so he's arrested. They put him, they're going to have the trial. They had the trial in another county. And one of the guys says, look, when you have a trial in another county, it's because the crime was so heinous that people want to see that person suffer. They want him to get the maximum penalty. We had it in another county because everybody liked him. We're just trying to give him a fair trial without somebody going, oh, let him loose. But basically they were like, oh, he didn't mean it.
They're like, yeah.
But it's a true story, and it's like that really does happen. Like people like they excuse what the person did because either they've been manipulated by whatever their charm or whatever. Like even back in the day, like Ted Bundy.
Well, yeah, if you're charming, really hard to prove this guy's capable of these things.
Yeah, and then there's people when they're on death row, there's women that come see him or they write to him like they're
or marry them.
Yeah, or marry him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but this guy, this was in the 90s, and I think he served like 10 or 15 years. He's out of jail now.
Really?
But this is a real story, and the guy really.
Yeah, I never heard of this.
Oh, it's really good. But yeah, there's times where it's like that, and then there's movies like that where you see these people, they just go ahead and it's almost like they're like the mother of the child. Like they don't see what they did wrong. They just love the person anyway.
Well, Ted Bundy's mother actually never realized that he was guilty until he confessed on death row. Like, she truly believed, like, through all the trial, all the everything, that her son, like, she could never imagine. There's no way.
Yeah.
And then when he confessed, they interviewed her, and she was, like, dumbfounded. She was like, we didn't raise him that way. And she was like, the shocking thing is that, like, we had daughters the age of the women that he was killing. And, and just, like, we couldn't fit. She could not wrap her head around it.
Yeah, and then that's the thing is a lot of people, it's denial. Whether you like it or not, it's denial. They don't want to. It's like when your kids are growing up and they're little brats, and they're like, "Not my kid, not my child." But again, they're wrong because you've shown them everything that's possible to prove them wrong, and they're still in denial. Like, "Oh no, that's not my kid." I'm like, "That is your kid."
Yeah.
It's definitely this mentality that some people they either can't shake or they're just like a nihilist where they're like, I don't care what you say,
Yeah, and fun fact, like in my books, like I kill off people I know all the time.
Oh gosh, you're like Game of Thrones.
Well, like it's just the thing of it is that if you get on my bad side, like locally, I don't know if you know like Tamara and Chris Comas. Like I don't know anybody who's watching this if you know locally, and they live in Bushnell. And Tamara is one of my best friends, And her husband, like, just has that personality where he likes to rib you. So he is just bugging me all the time. And so I kept saying to him, like, we'd go for dinner and stuff like that. And I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to kill you off in one of my books if you don't. If you do not stop bugging me, you are going to get a grisly death. And he was like, bring it on, bring it on. And in Blood Chronicles, he meets a demise that you don't even want to talk about. Like, he is like
Kimberly.
savagely murdered for all the world to see. And he's like, I don't care.
And we're done, folks.
Yeah, it's just like, and it's just, and it's funny because other people, and one of my regulars, I used to work at Whiskey River Saloon in Inverness, and one of my regulars, and he wasn't murdered. He's like one of my favorite people in the world. But people just that I know will find themselves in my book, and he is a regular at Whiskey River. And he's like a grizzly old man that sits at the bar, and he used to bring his dog into the bar all the time. He was just like him and his dog. The dog got a beer, an NA beer. They shared a beer together. He would stay there all day. He's like a bar guy in one of my books as well.
Oh, that's cool.
People do find their way into my books, whether, I mean, you might get murdered. You might not get murdered. Depends on how it goes.
Oh my God.
How I feel on any given day. So it's just like, but yeah, sometimes if you know me, you might find yourself in one of my books. So...
But it's cool that you can like include people that you know, even though it's for probably not the right reasons. But
hey, man, he was all for it. So
no, I mean it's all fun. I'm just making fun of the situation.
I mean, somebody has to die.
No, right? Well, it's inevitable. Oh, there goes a book. Oh,
that might have been a haunted
bad
karma. Was that a bad karma thing?
And we'll be right back after
like,
this.
Sorry about your luck, Billy.
No, oh gosh, no, I can't.
He's like scared now.
I don't want to.
Is there a presence in the room?
No, no, I'm sure there's not. You're not writing about paranormal activity, so.
Actually, my next book coming
Oh
out
my gosh, it came with you.
a ghost
Sorry about that.
story.
Look,
sorry, it is a ghost story. The next one.
Listen, I you know what? You're always welcome here. How about that? I don't know what else to say. Let's see. Let me ask you this: have you ever done anything like? Have you done anything like where you had to risk your life? Like, have you ever skydived or anything?
You know what? I'm a bit of a adventure junkie. I definitely I've been skydiving. I got my pilot's license, and there's actually an interesting story around how they teach you how to fly. They do put you in like dicey situations just to see if you can get out of it. When I was learning how to fly, because obviously the goal is that like, because when you learn to fly, you have to have an instructor with you for a period of time. But at some point, they have to let you go on your own because...
Baby bird.
Yeah. So in order to do that, they have to make sure that you're not going to die.
True, which is nice. Very nice of them.
So when I was learning, and I got my pilot's license in Canada, of course. So
Yeah.
one of the things that they do is, so you're up in the air, and they will cut the engine on you because they want to. Because obviously that's a thing that happens.
Yeah.
If your engine blows, what do?
Well.
You know, you have to be able to figure out how to land this thing without dying. And so, of course, they do the whole prep of preparing. He'll cut the engine. They do everything a million times.
Oh, yeah.
You need a certain amount of hours before you can even go on your own. You need a certain amount of hours before they'll license you. So it's just repeating the same tasks over and over and over
Repetition.
again.
Yeah.
Landing, getting up in the air, all the things. They do everything 100 times. So you think you're not learning things, but you're learning things just based off of repetition. So I remember when, we're up in the air and he's like, oh, you think you're good? And it's like, sure. And they cut the engine and like you always assume, like I for sure assumed that I would feel some form of panic or, oh my God, we're all going to die, like kind of thing. And you really don't. Like there's this comfort level. I think I felt more uncomfortable in an airplane when somebody else was in control. Mm-hmm. But when you're given control, it's almost like, well, you have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because we used to always fly over farmland. So they had permission, obviously, from the neighboring farms that, hey, like, we could end up, like, in your yard. And the farmers used to always talk about how they would see the airplanes literally falling from the sky. Because that's literally what it's like when he cuts the engine.
Yeah.
Your airplane goes into a dive, and it starts circling to the ground until you figure it out.
Wow.
And you basically have to, like, okay, I got to get the engine running. I got to level out the airplane. And that's basically it. You're literally falling to the ground until you figure it out. And it's the same thing with, like, I had to land in a cornfield one time.
Wow.
Because they're like, hey, you might have to land on a highway one day. You might have to land in somewhere else. And they just put you in these dicey situations, and they just hope you figure it out. I had to do a cross-country flight by myself, and you just have to, and the interesting thing is, like, you think you can't do it until you do it.
Thanks for watching part 1 of this 2-part podcast. Check out full episodes on YouTube and Spotify.